The woods are no place for a princess. The woods welcome you. Know that the creatures here are neither enemies nor friends. There are hunters and prey. For you? Perhaps. The Viridian Sentinel once kept the wild at bay for the folk of Bankurai, but his power wanes. Soon he may regret saving the Princess of Evermore. Her mother already mourns her death, so why interrupt the natural course? Gravely wounded, but yes, Princess Alara is here. The Sentinel tends to her, and it takes all his power to draw her away from death. He would welcome aid if you wish to give it. We Weird have fulfilled our part of the bargain and shall offer no more. We'll be at the Standing Stones by Viridian Lake. His power is strongest there. Look for the broken statue. It overlooks the altar where he works.
Sad, isn't it? The poor child. I'm afraid not. As the Sentinel, I must warn you that these woods aren't safe. But as old girls, I'm glad to see a friendly face. I remember when that child was at more than a knee's height, and now she's laid out like a corpse. She was attacked and left for dead by the wayside like a beast. Well, she won't die on my watch, not if you can help me. Around the lake, you'll find rings of mushrooms, fairy rings. But fairies aren't what I need. Take my amulet. Get down in the center of the rings and feel the earth. I need the energy from there to keep Alara alive. I need to take the child back to my hut. It's just up the hill a bit. Can't miss it. I was younger, I could instantly purge the poison running through this young lady's veins. Now it takes all my strength just to keep her breathing. The poor dear. Just in time. I've made a salve for Alara that'll help her wake. I'll channel what energy I have left into her. The amulet should be able to sustain me afterwards. At least I hope it will. This will just take a moment. Took more out of me than I thought. Go on, give it to the poor girl. I'll be all right.
I was asleep? What am I doing in this hovel? And who are you? No, I remember. Stenwick brought me here. I was sick. Apologies, but I still don't remember who you are. Then you have my gratitude. I feel weak, but not unwell. It seems my outer wounds have all been healed. Tell me, stranger, how fares Evermore? Is my mother well? My father? I see. My mother must be in mourning then. I will send word that I am well, if Stenwick is willing. Ah, we have company, it seems. Who's coming in?
The forest feels your weakness, Sentinel. This is treacherous
Enter
ground.
Demara. Was that a warning or a threat?
Stenwick, who is this? A Weirus?
Yes, child. You will know more of them soon enough.
Is that so? You're more foolish than I thought, old man.
Don't think anything of this. The weird are a strange folk. The Weird and I have always had a tenuous relationship, but saving Alara was something I needed to do, regardless of their objections. It will make this process harder than it needs to be, but I still have some spirit in me yet. It's quite complicated. Suffice to say, they don't think I should use the forest power for such things. Of course, they'd much rather I didn't exist at all. But it changes nothing. There's work to be done, and I'm not getting any younger. My salve was but a reprieve, I fear. In order to safeguard Alara, I need to do something drastic, and I'll need the Weird's help. You've seen the Spriggans of the forest, I'll bet. There's one that's much older and much wiser than the rest of them. Some call her the voice of the forest. In a way, she is. I need a bud from one of her branches, one freely given. It can harness the full power of these woods to safeguard Ilara's life. May I ask your aid once again? They are guardians of nature in the truest sense, and I am a guardian of the people. Our interests don't always coincide. They see my role as Sentinel as unnatural, though the Sentinel has existed for generations. My salve was but a reprieve, I fear. In order to safeguard Alara, I need to do something drastic, and I'll need the Weird's help. You've seen the Spriggans of the forest, I'll bet. There's one that's much older and much wiser than the rest of them. The Weird and I have always had... Some call... They are guardians... my salve was but... They are guardians... my salve was but... Some call her the voice of the forest. Find the voice of the forest. It shouldn't be difficult to find, but if you must... Many Spriggans carry a spore that returns to the voice of the forest when the Spriggan dies. You could kill them and follow it to the voice, but that certainly won't make it very happy. Take my amulet. Its power is spent, but the voice of the forest will recognize it and grant you an audience. Weiris Demara may not welcome you when you take the bud to her, but persevere. She knows what the Weird must do.
I won't sit here and let you do all the work. We have to find the voice of the forest. If Stenwick needs a Spriggan bud, then I'll do anything to get it for him. I suppose you're right. I'll stay here with Stenwick. But this forest voice, if it's like a Spriggan, it will react to their deaths. I bet you could kill some Spriggans to draw it out. Probably, but they're animals. I don't see any other way to reason with them. Stenwick needs the bud, and we don't have time to coddle the Spriggans. We need their cooperation, whether they intend to give it or not. And if we never find it, no. Kill the Spriggans. It's the best chance to do this quickly. Probably, but they're animals. I don't see any other way.
This creature disturbs the woods with the Sentinel's binding as a token. Has the forest not bent to the whims of the Sentinel already? What more can we give? So, he may pass our yoke to another, a stranger to the woods. Your demand is empty, voice of the Sentinel. I refuse. Why should we care for a mortal? We only seek to grow as our nature intends. Your Sentinel is the one who prevents this, but you care nothing for our plight. It is a waste to speak of this further. Take the bud and be gone, but know this. There shall be no peace in these woods.
familiar scent surrounds you. Did the Sentinel send you? What do you hold? How dare the Sentinel pick his successor out of pity? But she didn't bring us the bud, you did. Why should we give our blessing to one who needs another to carry her burdens? He didn't even trust you enough to tell you, did he? Let the Sentinel explain it to you when you next see him. I'll do my part and no more. Where is this princess who is greater than the needs of nature? Too weak to even follow you? No, the forest does not need such a creature. The Sentinel oversteps his bounds, and the Weird will not allow it.
If you have something to say,
I will.
You'll say it to my face.
You are weak, fit for little more than prey. How do you hope to wield the Sentinel's power?
Stenwick is trying to save my life. I don't know what he has planned, but I certainly owe it to him to see this through.
The child knows nothing, and he expects us to offer our blessing?
I don't know what Stenwick is planning, but if it'll save my life, I trust him. I don't understand why these weird people can't see that. Sounds like jealousy to me. It won't stand in my way. I won't give up a second chance at life for the whims of some forest folk. Stenwick is a kind man. Why won't they see that he means no harm? The Weird can't interfere forever. Let them bless this thing and be done with it. Stenwick's not getting any younger.
Once the Viridian Sentinel stood for something more than a wet nurse to spoiled children. Now he expects us to train and rear this daughter of the city as our own? No. The Sentinel asks too much. His time wanes. He will make this girl the new Sentinel, untrained and unfit. He holds no respect for the forest and no respect for the Weird. What does it matter to us if one child withers to allow the forest to grow free, I ask you? We've heard nothing from the Sentinel these past days but demands. Still, we will do what must be done. Perhaps we can trust you to make the correct decision when the time comes. Althine will help you prepare it. For the Sentinel's ritual, he needs a Spriggan bud, freely given. You have obtained that, but the bud will not bloom without nurturing. I hope you aren't squeamish about blood. But sister, you said this was the last time we would help the Sentinel. Come. Let us finish the blessing and be done with it. Come along, then. We have a sacrifice ready. When I say, hold the bud out in your hands, keep them steady, no matter what happens. Plunge it into the offering, quickly.
The Weird have stalled long enough. Stenwick isn't healthy, and we must do what he asked before it's too late. Go to him. Tell him what we've done. I'm short of breath and must save my strength. I have a feeling they don't dare harm me as long as I'm under Stenwick's protection. We'll see if I guessed correctly. Of course. And this bud may heal Stenwick, the way he healed me. We'll need to use it if we're to save him. Take him to that altar in the lake. I'll meet you there.
I was hoping you'd return before... I couldn't speak to you one last time. It's good Alara's not with you. I'd hate for her to see me in such a state.
Time, my friend. I gave my everything to heal Alara, and it won't be enough. That's why I sent you to get the Spriggan Bud. The only way she'll live past a fortnight is if she becomes the Sentinel. And luckily, there'll be a vacancy shortly. In a sense, the power of the Sentinel is immortal. I'm old, but Alara is young. The Sentinel's power will take root and flourish in her. The weird fear what she will become, but you can't let that stop you. Take my essence. When I'm gone, save Alara. Tell her she must tame the will of the woods. The bud will summon, and the amulet will bind. The weird certainly won't help, considering they'd much rather see this power go to waste. Don't let the Sentinel's power fade. It must live on in Alara.
Thought he'd be here by now. Where is Stenwick? He gave everything to keep me alive, even his life. I don't even know what to do now. Does that mean I'm doomed to die as well? That was his plan all along, wasn't it? And I never got to thank him. If this is what he wanted, then I must see it through. You still have his amulet? Take it to the altar. We'll say a few words for him. So these moats are all that's left of dear Stenwick. What's that sound? Can you hear it?
We meet again, ally of the Viridian Sentinel. Now you seek to subjugate these woods once again. We will see if you can succeed. How I long to watch you stumble and fail, but an ancient pact compels me to explain the right. One simply has to gather the moats about the lake, but beware, we are not without our own defenses. Then there will be no Viridian Sentinel. The yoke about our necks for centuries would be freed. Of course, there is one way to ensure the princess does not become the Sentinel. Destroy the Spriggan bud I gave you, and she will fail. It is true, but we have endured a slow death for much longer. Man was not meant to rule over nature. No matter their intentions, they cannot know the will of the woods. The Viridian Sentinel is a mockery of nature's true cycle. The torches on either side would suffice. Their flames and your intention are more than enough. You are the one with the power to change this mortal. It is true, but we have endured a slow death for much longer. Man was not meant to rule over nature. No matter their intentions, they cannot know the will of the woods. The Viridian Sentinel is a mockery of nature's true cycle. How I long to watch you stumble and fail, but an ancient pact compels me to explain the right. One simply has to gather the moats about the lake, but beware, we are not without our own defenses. Then there will be no Viridian Sentinel. The yoke about our necks for centuries would be freed. Of course, there is one way to ensure the princess does not become the Sentinel. Destroy the Spriggan bud I gave you, and she will fail.
I think I'm better now. Gods, what is this place? I didn't think we'd be able to pull through at the end, but we did. We did! You can't imagine how this feels. I had no idea Stenwick had this kind of... power. I can feel the earth. I can taste the wind. It's like every piece of this forest is a part of me. I will remain here, a part of these woods forever. Could I even command the beasts? It seems that it would have been a trivial matter. More than that, the rocks themselves give me strength. I feel immortal. Ah, apologies, my friend. This power, it's heady, like a deep, cold pool. Refreshing, but so easy to fall into. I have much to learn, it seems. We met only briefly, but the forest will remember your deeds forever. I will make sure of it. So much has happened to me. It's hard to think clearly. No, I belong here, in these woods. Eventually, the Weird and I will come to terms. I see our past and present through the eyes of the Sentinel. There will never be love between us, but understanding is not too much to ask.
Thank you.
I can't do my job. Not with all this... I know there's a war afoot and all that, but there's a problem here at the graveyard. The corpses are climbing out of their graves. I promise, this isn't my fault. I buried them all real good. No, I don't know nothing. I was just bringing Prince Adrian in here to lay him to rest in the royal crypt. But when these walking bones started popping up, I ran for it. I just left the prince's corpse laying out. But what was I supposed to do? It's up there a ways, outside the royal crypt. One of the prince's knights stayed there to protect him. She can be noble if she wants, but I'd rather be alive. I do feel bad, though. That's why I was thinking maybe if I could find someone to help her.
The prince has risen. It's a miracle.
What's going on here? I don't understand any of this. Last thing I remember, we were fighting the Reachmen outside Northglen. I saw my father fall. I tried to get to him, and then everything went black. Dame Valeri tells me that we died? Then how am I having this conversation? I mean, I feel different. I don't even think my heart's beating, but... Do you think... I mean, am I undead? But then, why am I not ambling about mindlessly trying to kill the living? Isn't that what the undead do? Dame Valeri says the gods have resurrected me, but... why? Because of my bloodline? I'm sorry, this is just too much. I don't know. If the dead here are rising and this is the royal crypt, have any of my ancestors risen? Maybe they can give us some answers. Would you consider venturing into the royal crypt to find out? I know it's unlikely, but I'm hoping that if I'm alive, maybe my father is too. Maybe Dame Valeri is right. Maybe the gods are giving us a second chance.
This tomb was built to hold royal remains, but none remain within. The remains of the royal family have vacated this place. They return to the land of living to follow the anointed and to avenge their bloodline. Prince Adrian is the anointed. He too has been blessed to rise again. Arche himself, of course. His church sits nearby. These grounds are consecrated in his name. This was foreseen. Death denied the prince from defeating Evermore's enemies, but the anointed shall now command an army of the dead. A mortal cannot hope to understand the will of the divine. You must simply tell him to trust the power with which he is imbued. His destiny will unfold as he trusts his instincts.
Whatever was in the royal crypt, at least it doesn't appear to have been lethal. Tell me though, did you learn anything? Any explanation for my unexpected return to life? Then the gods do want something of me. I guess it's a second chance. A chance to redeem my father, myself. To get revenge. It truly is a miracle, then. I could lead the undead here to defeat the Reachmen. The Reachmen have been dealt with? This is tremendous news. I'm not surprised to hear about the Imperials. They were attacking southern Bankerai before, and I knew they wouldn't stop there. Perhaps now my undead army can drive them back. I don't know for certain, but when you said it, something about it just feels right. Did this voice in the crypt say anything else? That seals the deal, then. We should make preparations. I'm feeling stronger by the minute. Dame Valyria is just over there trying to figure out where the undead are coming from. Tell her what you told me.
There you are. I was beginning to worry. It seems that more and more of the dead are rising every minute. Did you learn anything in the crypt? Really? Maybe he's right, talking about an undead army. But if this is his army, why are they hostile? We might have to earn their allegiance. Have you seen these blue flames in the ruins? I think they're somehow inciting the undead to violence. I do. I tried holy water on one and it seemed to do the trick. If you'll take it and extinguish a few more flames, that may help pacify the undead. After that, let's meet at the monument south by the rocks. I saw someone skulking around over there. It's a priest of Arche, but something's wrong with him. He's just completely ignoring me. I'm not sure how I might have offended him, but if the blessing on Prince Adrian comes from Arche, the priest should be able to help us. I think he's had ample time to pray at this point. With all due respect to him and to the gods, we need answers here. Will you at least see if he'll talk to you?
O Divine Lord, protector of the eternal balance between life and death, I beseech you, remove this dark curse from your sacred grounds. Shh! Or do you revel in the defilement of sacred law? These burial grounds are cursed, and I am pleading with Arche to reveal the source of the corruption. Unless you know the source, please, let me be. It did? That would be quite a surprise, considering Arche is opposed to undeath in all its forms. Do you think the god simply changed his mind? Why would he possibly do that? The prince has risen as well? This scenario grows more foul by the hour. What befell King Aemond and his son was tragic, but I cannot imagine it so offends Arche that he would break the natural order. I don't know. I should see Prince Adrian. That's the only way to ascertain if he's truly touched by the god. In the meantime, it might help me to commune with Arche if we stopped the dark spirits from defiling the other monuments. No. Your impatient friend here can escort me to the prince. I need your help with the spirits defiling the monuments. Destroy the defilers, and then I will have the clarity I need. After that, meet me at the church, and we can discuss the prince.
Why do you fear me, priest? Is it because I can control what
Your
you cannot?
Highness, I'm sure he means no offense. Please, calm yourself.
As long as he treats me with the respect I deserve, we won't have a problem.
I'm out of my depth here. If it comes to blows, I can't raise my sword against Prince Adrian, but I can't stand by and watch him strike down an unarmed priest either. This is starting to look like not such a miracle after all. Well, the good news is the undead didn't attack us. They actually bowed to Prince Adrian. Father Quiston's not exactly impressed with that fact, though. He thinks it's a very bad sign, and he told the prince as much. Well, we tested that out, and dripped some holy water on Prince Adrian's hand. It burned. That pretty much says it all. But Father Quiston believes there's still a chance we can remove the corruption. We saw skeletons digging up corpses and piling them up in the mausoleums as death shrines. Father Quiston believes that cleansing the mausoleums with holy water might have some effect. I'd hate to leave the prince, though. Will you go?
Why do you work against me? Would you have the prince spurn this blessing? The priest fears the unknown. That is why he refuses to acknowledge the gift the prince has been given. But why do you submit to this priest's direction? Are you a coward, or do you just prefer not to think for yourself? The priest is blinded by his preconceptions of power. This is a blessing for all of Bankorai. What matter is it whether it comes from RK or some other source? The prince can sense the truth. He will give himself over to it soon enough. You regard power and opportunity as corruption? Such has always been the perspective of small minds. I thought you understood, but it is clearly beyond your comprehension. Very well. You've chosen your destiny.
I tried to stop him, but it was all I could do just to keep him from killing Father Quiston. Damn it all. What are we going to do now? The prince went into a rage. He started shouting at Father Quiston, saying this was his church, and he was relieving Quiston of his duties. Then he just ran inside. We have to get in there and talk him down. The doors won't open. I don't know if he barred them or what. Maybe the priest knows another way in.
Damn it! I knew this would happen. If it had been anyone else, I would have put him to rest right away. What are you doing standing there? We have to get inside! No. This is the only door, and the beast has locked it from the inside. There's a spare key buried under the tree in the back. You have Arkay's blessing to go and claim it. Just do it fast. Damn it! I knew this would happen!
And the thorn in my side returns. Your prince has accepted the gift I offered. He is a visionary. He sees beyond convention. But what about you? Do you still question the value of my blessing? He suffered enough in life. In death, I am giving him the glory he deserves. I told him, by giving in to my guidance, together we could purge this land of all our enemies. He was willing to make this sacrifice. You should honor his decision. I may not be a god, but with the strength of the prince's soul, my powers are considerable. Come, see for yourself.
That certainly wasn't my finest hour. But I thought it was RK. I thought he was giving me a second chance. There's nothing more foul than this creature's deception. It must have hailed from the depths of oblivion itself. Death. Death and destruction. It would have given me vengeance against my enemies, but it wouldn't have stopped there. It will never stop unless we stop it. Even now I can sense the darkness inside, gaining strength again. Please, kill me. Yes, the life force inside me is evil through and through. Thank you for saving me, friend. I wish I could have known you when I was alive. But this will have to suffice. I am ready to die. Ready as I can be, I suppose.
If you have said your goodbyes, Prince Hadrian,
Wait.
it is time.
Are you sure there's no other way?
It's all right, Valeri. I accept it. And you must too. You served me in life, saved me in death. I can be at peace now. This chill. I remember it. Goodbye, Valeri.
It is done. His body and soul are at rest.
It's done then. He can now rest again. For good this time. I suppose I should be relieved, but somehow I feel like I've let him down. I did everything in my power to protect him. If I could have taken the death blow on the battlefield, I would have done it without hesitation. He should have been king. I'll return to Evermore to serve the crown. I am still a knight. It's my duty. First, though, I will do what I came here to do. I will lay the prince to rest.
May this one be of service.
This can't be right. Reachman in the grotto. Why has Hircine allowed this to happen? The grotto belongs to the Glenmoral Weird as a temple to Hircine. The Reachmen got past our watch and turned our bear guardians against us and destroyed our protective wards. Their leader, Bernark, seeks a Briarheart from Hircine. Unless the bear spirits power the wards, we can't enter our own temple. Without the wards, the bears are wild, and we can't reach the altar to ask Hircine why he abandoned us. Can you kill the bears and free their spirits? You must be near an inactive ward upon the bear's death. The ward will empower you when you are close, so the bear's spirit will sense it and know where to go. Otherwise, the spirit is more likely to simply ascend, to be reunited with the earth. The wards are back, and the bears are no longer hostile to us. Now we'll call upon Hircine and find out why he's forsaken us. As you restored the wards, you are now a part of the grotto's life too. Therefore, I will ask you to perform a necessary role in our sacrifice. We need a still-beating heart. You've offered to assist us? I asked you to be the ultimate sacrifice to save the grotto. You are the key to reaching Hircine.
No! By rights, I should be the one to take the blade. I'm the one who failed.
Nyroni, no! This person has already offered to help us.
The sacrifice should come from the Weird, and I'm the one responsible.
Lene, she's right. The heart of a stranger compared to a self-sacrifice? Hircine is bound to hear an answer.
But we need 3 for the ritual. She can't do it.
The outsider can do it. Only 2 of us are required for the prayers.
I won't allow it.
You've no choice. Do you want this to succeed or fail? Nyroni is ready and willing. You know we're right.
As much as I hate to admit it, Tyria is right. Nyroni's willing sacrifice is priceless compared to yours. I raised her, you know. We found her abandoned. A lost child that the wood kept safe until we discovered her. Much more than that. We're tied through both a familial bond and the forest itself. We may seem callous to outsiders, but we're closely knit. What we ask of you is not to be taken lightly. This is a serious and sensitive matter. Understood? I hope so. Take this ceremonial dagger. It's well sharpened to ensure swift work. Tyria and I will perform the ritual. Once prepared, you must act quickly to cut out the heart of Nyroni and place it on the altar. Lyris Nyroni's sacrifice should be the extra edge we need to call upon Hircine. Good. Wait for my... We're ready. Now cut out her heart. Put her heart in the bowl on the altar.
A worthy offering. What is it you seek?
We seek to know why.
Silence, pray. I speak not to the weak, but to the one who took the heart. This one interests me. Come. Speak to me, Hunter. You are not mere prey, mortal. Yet you aid the weird who still lick their wounds of defeat. Their fall to Branark and his reachmen lost them my favor. To earn it back, you must prove yourself a true hunter. To start, a hunter's challenge of skill. Hunt my aspects within my hunting grounds, a shade of this realm and my own. Prove yourself worthy of my favor. Only then will you earn the chance to retake the grotto for the weird. I will place you there. When you've won, if you've won, return to the shrine. I will be there as the spirit of the hunt. We'll discuss your prowess and your final task for the grotto when the hunt is over.
I'm not sure how much time I have, but thank you for what you've done. My sacrifice is nothing compared to your brave response to Hircine's challenge. Can I help you understand this realm? A place of shadow, hunger, and thirst? Strength, speed, and guile. I know them well. He sent you to track them. The Hunter's Test, which I once undertook myself. Though I've not been dead for very long, I will answer your questions as a final favor.
What's this? A worthy specimen for my collection.
So you've succeeded. Impressive. Few best the aspects. Already you yearn for the next hunt. I've 2 hunters and 1 grotto. To the victor goes the spoils. Find Branark and rip the briar heart from his chest. Prove yourself the true hunter, and he the prey. And the grotto is yours. Should you prove yourself the victor, bring the Reachman's fledgling Briarheart back to the altar. I will speak to you one last time, if you succeed.
A final challenge for us both. This should be easy. Doubtful. I defeated the Weird. I'll defeat you just as easily. The power of the Briarheart will be mine permanently. Soon, I'll retake Evermore, and all the land which once belonged to my people. Your kind will be stamped out, and I will rule all! That's what you think. Come and get me. The Briarheart, this grotto Evermore, and all these petty kingdoms will be mine!
You've returned. We feared the worst.
What happened? Has Hircine asked something of you? You've proven yourself a true hunter. And Branark? What of him? Only one Supreme Hunter would be left. And with Branark defeated, we can take back the grotto. Go, and luck be on your side. We'd assist, but it would be forbidden. Your victory will be remembered. We could feel the death of Bernark through the earth beneath our feet. Even the insects will not mourn him. Thank you for making our sister's death worth it. We're in your debt. We still have a lot of work to do. Cleaning out the remaining Reachmen and regaining the full trust of the Bears. We can feel the connection returning, but there's no telling what damage has already been done, and how long it will take to undo. Now please, return the Briarheart to Hircine.
Ah, the proven hunter. I see you have the Briarheart, torn from the chest of the Reachman. His punishment for failure is to roam the hunting grounds as prey. His chest, a gaping hollow, a reminder of his weakness. Consider it returned. The grotto belongs to the Weird once again, but more importantly, to you. I'll be watching you, mortal. A larger hunt looms in your future. One I'll watch with great interest.
Never finish. You. Don't I know you? It's so dark in here, and I'm simply too tired to think. Alas, the world might be denied my brilliance. Isn't it amazing how we all ask ourselves such questions? Really, it's all Oinok's fault. He's my guide. Or he was. I have no way of knowing where he could be now. But I was here to tour the ruins. That is why you're here, isn't it? Giuliano's truth. Such ignorance is breathtaking. If you'll help me find out what has happened to Oinok, I will tell you all about the ruins. If he's dead, I would want to take back the wages I'd paid him, at the very least. Colleague of mine. I would say peer, but to call any corpse a peer is unsettling. Do you see any discarded notes, journals, or concern for another time.
Can anyone hear me? Help me! Poisoned by spiders. Be careful. They are attracted to movement. As we entered this passage, I stopped for a moment, and Herminia's sophist continued on. Before I could turn around, a very large spider bit my leg, and I fell, unable to defend myself. There is a reason he hired a guide. I've heard him call for me, but it seemed he walked in circles and came no closer. I am tired, and my muscles ache, but I am otherwise in good health. Yes, for my duty is to protect innocents from predation. A spider's poison wears off, but research and collection by the untrained can never be healed. Herminia's sophist, what happened to you? You are in a terrible state.
Are you aware of the danger I was in?
But where is your pack? And where is Lutebrius?
Lutebrius? Lutebrius? I've been wasting away like a common beggar. And you ask after the monkey? I shall write about how awful you are as a guide.
I must ensure he does not lose his way again.
In for a bit of respite as well, I see. If you'd like some provisions, I might be able to help you out while we're both resting in here.
Azei at Oinok. I hope... Oh, you're still here. I don't suppose you'd be willing to help me on another grand adventure, would you? I've been unable to research this site properly before moving on, but my travel arrangements are already made. Do you understand what that means? My editor gave me a list of other scholars who have gone missing here, presumably to frighten me. Aminyas and Deshri are their names. I want you to search for their camps and see if they had research I can cite. Aminyas may have been a xenophobic, dour old elf, but he's at least thorough in his arguments. As for Morgal Deshri, it might help to inject some romance into the piece, since the woman was so obviously taken with King Jolie. Possibly be taking you so long? How hard could it be? You found the notes? Oh, superb. I'm sure I can cobble these together and keep the high points on the voyage. I might even make the two of them my co-authors. No, oh, that's absurd. Here, a pittance for your trouble. Now all I have to do is locate that wildlife specimen Azei calls our pet. If only I'd had that monkey Latibrius stuffed when we first found him, we'd know precisely where he is. Now we'll could always go back to the Alakir Desert for another if need be. Aminyas may have been a xenophobic, dour old elf, but he's at least thorough in his arguments. Now all I have to do is look. Aminyas may have been as... Of course not. I intend to recompile their research.